how we can discover what the needs of our customers are.
People look at data collection as what do we have available? Do we have this metric? Do we have this data? Removing themselves from the possibility that they can ask customers. We want to ask our customers more things. How did you get to our site? What do you think? The difficulty of companies doing that is just incredible. And what happens is that curiosity dies. No. Ask more questions. Be curious, rotate those questions. It doesn't have to be part of a large survey. If you want to know when to ask questions, ask it on the thank you page. Turns out the height of trust with most consumers is after they give you money. As we do with experiments, know what you're going to do with that answer. Know how those answers are going to change your future behavior. So judges go, what do you think of my ads? What do you think of my products? No. Do you want to go skiing sometimes? Why are we going skiing? No, I was just asking. That's a ridiculous question. Good question. How much are you spending with other competitors? What was a feature that really brought you here? How long did you think about these products? All of those things enable that type of curiosity to go forward and give you new opportunities that you might otherwise miss.
How can I use data to make content more attractive to my audience?
Here's kind of the way that I approach it. Social media is attractive because it gives us rules for conversation and it gives us feedback on it. You and I have a conversation and there's no feedback mechanism. I don't know how I did. And social media overcomes that by rating your conversation. If you do well, they promote it. You get more likes. People are saying, do you comply with the rules of the community? What's successful on Twitter will not be successful on LinkedIn. And so when I look at success of social media from that lens, I say really what it is to discover, to say how closely can you conform to the rules and best practices of that particular group. And when people are looking at viral content, that's like something that conform to all of the rules of what the community expects. How do I become more successful on social media? It's really saying, well, how closely can you comply with the rules that they put out? Prioritizing them over your own brands and ambitions. Like the way you present yourself, the way you present your products, the way you write, copy, all have to comply with it. And I don't really think that that's an interesting problem to solve. Say you have, 20, 30 million followers and then wrote a book. Only about 15,000 of their followers actually bought a copy of the book despite all their promotions. And you send out an email and nobody replies, nobody buys your product. How do you feel? Do you feel great because you sent out 1 million emails? Or do you feel kind of terrible because you have 1 million emails and nobody cares about the message you're sending? These articles come up every now and then where you have these influencers with all these followers and then nobody takes action on what you said. Oftentimes, social media rewards people with quantity more than quality. And I think that it's a rough proxy and I think we get distracted by it. But my challenge would be, I look at the success on social media as I do with any other channel. What a lot of people find, and this is a discouraging part about social media, is that they find out when they do put out these requests to say, hey, I have 50,000 followers. I said, buy this thing, listen to this thing. And they get such a low conversion rate over it. And I say, and I was like, well, that's kind of, I look at all these people and nobody's interacting and nobody actually bought the thing I put out there. And I say, that's fine. But I say, what that does is that reveals that there's a different set of rules. There's one set of rules for volume and activity. There's another set of rules for good relationships. And those rules are a little bit harder to discover, but I say that's the game you actually want to play. So if I'm in the influencer game, I don't care how many people follow me. I care how many people act. And so that's why I prioritize. I say what you want to do is learn about as many people who take action, who click on something, who go to a website, ask them questions about why they did, and then figure out what content relates to them. And I'll give you one quick example on it. There's a case study of Electronic Arts, a video game company, where they put out 16 different display ads for promoting a mobile game. And the one that brought the most downloads, the most volume, was the one that was least attractive to the people that would actually spend money in the game. And I say the same with social media. If you look at, say, what's impactful for likes or retweets or any whatever metric you're looking at, it's likely going to be different from the people that are going to support your enterprise, that are going to spend, buy, and want to be connected and relatable to your brand. If you put out a message, if you put out a request, do people respond to that more than just arbitrary buttons to say they're engaging with it? And so I always look at that connection to say it's not simply the volume and how many people raise their hand, it's how many people are willing to follow you in the next step. And that I look at as success because you need somebody to take action, buy something as opposed to clicking a little button to share. But I think that they're all that more important for anybody that's pursuing that channel. If you have 800,000 followers and you put out a message and you say, I have a new product, and they buy your product and there's that exchange of value, then I say you found the best of both worlds. That's the end of my TED Talk there. Social media from a guy that doesn't tweet.